of Eldergrove, buried deep within the grasp of an ancient shadow-drenched forest, there was a place feared beyond all others, the Hollow. By day it seemed an unremarkable glade, veiled in a thick mist that clung stubbornly to the air, even under the sun's sharpest glare. But at night, the Hollow transformed into something alive, malevolent. It whispered secrets to the unwary, luring them into its grasp, only for their screams to echo back as faint and brittle things fading into the mist. No one who entered. To name it aloud was to invite its attention, to risk its unrelenting hunger. Eldergrove itself felt cursed, caught between the waking world and the abyss. The Hollow was its dark heart, pulsing a slow and ceaseless dread that bled into the bones of all who lived there. Doors were bolted before nightfall, candles snuffed to keep the darkness at bay. But Cedric, a young man new to the village, knew none of this. Born to outsiders who mocked the village's fears, Cedric had grown up dismissing the warnings as baseless folklore. Superstition, his mother had said, shaking her head as she prepared supper in their cottage on the outskirts of the village. What harm could a patch of trees possibly do? Cedric had wandered the forest many times. By day the woods seemed calm, even beautiful. Yet there was one trail he had never dared follow, the one leading to the Hollow. It wasn't fear that kept him away, but the oppressive air that seemed to thicken with every step closer. He'd heard no whispers, seen no ghosts, but the Hollow exuded a presence, palpable and vile. The harvest moon, the village square brimmed with merriment. Music, dancing, and the heady aroma of roasted meats and spiced cider. Cedric, emboldened by ale and the jeers of his companions, made a reckless proclamation. "Cedric, I'll go to the Hollow!" The words cut through the revelry like a blade. The villagers fell silent, their gazes heavy with a mixture of fear and pity. Old Man Thatcher, the eldest and wisest of the villagers, gripped Cedric's arm with frail but urgent fingers. "Old Man Thatcher, do not tempt it. The Hollow craves arrogance, it on it." But Cedric only laughed, pulling away. "Cedric, you're all afraid of shadows, but I'll show you there's nothing there." And so, as the harvest moon climbed high, painting the forest in a blood-tinged light, Cedric stumbled through the trees, alone. The village sounds grew faint, replaced by the rhythmic crunch of leaves beneath his boots and the whisper of a rising wind. When he reached the Hollow, the mist greeted him like an open maw. It curled around him, cold and damp, carrying with it a faint metallic scent like blood left too long in the sun. Cedric hesitated, but then a sound cut through the stillness. A whisper. At first it was faint, almost gentle, like the murmur of a brook. But it grew louder, a chorus of voices overlapping in a chaotic cacophony. Some pleaded, others screamed, a low, guttural laugh threaded through it all, a sound that churned Cedric's stomach and froze the air in his lungs. The mist thickened, wrapping around his legs like living vines, dragging him forward. Cedric fought to move, but his limbs obeyed some unseen force. He stumbled deeper into the Hollow, where shadows moved unnaturally, their forms twisting into grotesque shapes. The whispers grew clearer. They spoke his name now, over and over, each syllable dripping with venom and malice. "Cedric! Cedric!" Then he saw them. Figures emerged from the mist, pale and translucent. Their eyes were hollow sockets, their mouths frozen in soundless screams. Some reached out to him with skeletal hands, their fingers clawing the air, while others simply stared, their heads tilting at unnatural angles. "Help us!" Cedric tried to turn back, but the mist dragged him further in. The Hollow was alive and it was feeding. He felt his breath hitch, his chest tighten, as if the air itself conspired against him. The ground beneath his feet shifted, soft and spongy. And when he glanced down, he realized he was standing on bones, hundreds, maybe thousands of them, fractured and sharp. The voices grew louder, piercing his skull. They weren't just speaking now, they were screaming, An unbearable wail of agony and rage. Cedric fell to his knees, clutching his head, but the sound burrowed deeper, clawing at his sanity. A figure loomed before him, taller and darker than the rest. Its eyes burned like coals, its face a shifting mask of torment. When it spoke, the ground trembled. "You are mine now." Cedric tried to scream, but no sound came. The mist surged around him, filling his mouth, his nose, his lungs. He felt himself slipping, his thoughts unraveling, his memories bleeding away. The hollow wasn't just taking him, it was consuming him piece by piece. And then he was gone. The villagers found the path to the hollow strangely clear. No mist, no whispers. But Cedric was never seen again. All that remained was a faint echo of his laughter, carried on the wind, and a single blood-stained boot at the hollow's edge. The villagers spoke of him only in whispers, their tales a warning to others. The hollow does not forgive. The hollow does not forget. It waits, always hungry for the foolish and the bold. And on nights when the mist creeps close to the village, some swear they can still hear his cries, mingled with the laughter of something